Hey again everyone, my name's Ad. As you know, I'm currently Fat Lad Ad, but it's not going to be for much longer because I am on a quest to get to be Fit Lad Ad, and I'm doing that through a calorie controlled diet which is consisting of meal replacement shakes which I'm having instead of a breakfast and lunch, and then backing that up with a sensible evening meal. I'm using an app called NutriCheck to track the calories I consume and to earn back calories through exercise. The exercise I'm doing is mostly running, as I follow a beginner running program called None to Run, as well as some cycling, which I do in my conservatory on my turbo trainer with a subscription to Zwift. And so far it's working, because at the end of August 2021 I was 19 stone and 1 pound, and at my last weigh-in I made it under 16 stone. Coming up on season 4 week 2 midweek vlog, it's a bit of a mixed bag really. Bit of cooking, bit of running, bit of Zwifting, not much else really, so let's go and see what I've been up to. Before we do that though, please take a second to like the video, or a little bit longer to subscribe to the channel. Now the shameless self-promotion's out the way, let's see what I've been up to in week 4 of season 2 of Fat Lad Ad to Fit Lad Ad. Let's kick things off with Friday then, which starts straight after my weigh-in on Friday morning. And you know, it was shakes for breakfast and lunch, but it was still the takeaway at the end of the day after finishing work, which kind of put me on the back foot for the week. Whilst it wasn't as bad as last week, it was still pretty highly calorific, and you know, I'll show you what the calories were for each day in my results show, but it did still set a high a high mountain to come down from, if you like, for the rest of the week calories wise. On to Saturday then, and that was supposed to start out with a morning run with my wife, which then I would go on and do my own run straight after that, thinking that my wife's run would be a bit of a warm-up. Unfortunately, she wasn't feeling too good, so I went out on my own and did my own run. Let's take a look at what I filmed while I was out. Hey everyone, I'm up for a run on my own Saturday morning. Just attempted to do one with Nikki, but she's not feeling very well, so we aborted after the first interval. So I'm going to do my own, which is going to be None to Run week 8, which is the same as week 7, which is 2 minutes running, 30 seconds recovery, and I'll let you know how I get on at the end. Oh, well, that's that run done. I got to admit though, I found it pretty hard, but I'm not sure I found it hard enough to warrant, you know, starting this, you know, doing it properly from this week, i.e. 3 runs of week 8. 2 reasons for that. Basically, it's the same as week 7, which I did last week, and I found that relatively easy, certainly relatively easy compared to what I just felt that. And secondly, you know, I had a pretty big, although not big as last week, takeaway last night, and you know, I'm pretty sure it's still in my stomach. And yeah, so I think I am going to push on to week 9, which will be the last of the interval runs, and I'll see how that goes. I really would like to get the interval runs over with on the one per week basis before I go back to 3 runs a week, because it's at that point that I might have to cut my runs down with Nikki, and I don't want to do that yet. But yeah, so on Monday or whatever it'll be, whenever, you know, assuming next one with Nikki is tomorrow, if she's feeling better, on Monday I'll try week 9, and then yeah, we'll see how it goes from there. But it's a beautiful day, not sure what my plans are for today, we'll see. I'll catch you later on. Saturday was also pretty good food wise, although I did have a couple of beers in the evening, which were unplanned in that I hadn't intended to have beers, but decided to just nip along to the corner shop so late Saturday evening, just picked up a few beers, just felt like it, and yeah, I enjoyed them. What you gonna do? Something else I did on Saturday afternoon was I took a walk to a local excellent butcher's, and the reason for that is essentially because I'm trying to reduce my meat intake. And you might say, well, how's going to a butcher's helping with that? And you'd be right. But whilst I am trying to reduce my meat intake, I don't want to become vegetarian, but I am conscious that I want to make sure that my meat comes from an ethical source. I think I mentioned this on last week's video. So I decided to go to a butcher's. It's not the closest butcher's to us, but it's the butcher's I found on the internet that lists all the farms that it gets its meat from, and they all look pretty good. So I decided to go there and picked up some chicken and some sausages and some mince, just basically the meat I would typically need for some meals during the week. Which meant on Saturday evening I made some pizziolas for myself and wife, which are basically pizzas, but instead of a bread base, they have a flattened chicken breast base. So tomato sauce, I had a bit of ham on mine, a bit of chili, some cheese, and some various Italian herbs. And yeah, this is kind of what they turned out like, and I think they were pretty good. I mean, we've made them before, and we're slowly perfecting the recipe. We first of all we just did them with tomato puree, which the tomato puree was too strong. Then we just bought some tomato pizza sauce for the second time we did them, but that was too watery. So this time I took tomato pizza sauce and mixed a bit of puree in with it, thickened it up a little bit, and we think we got it pretty much nailed. Sunday started with a run with Nikki, which was good fun. Not particularly testing, but it was all good fun. The other exercise I did on Sunday was I got my bike out of the garage and I actually took a cycle ride to my local parrot supply shop. I mean, it's not a parrot supply shop, it's a very good exotic pet shop. Basically, I needed some new toys for my parrot. She's very fussy on the types of toys she likes. She likes basically wood she can shred. And there's a specific type of toy which is lots and lots of little bits of wood on a string, essentially. I don't know how else to explain it. And she loves, destroying it. It takes her a couple of weeks to get through it. And I noticed on Sunday that she'd only had one piece of wood left on the one that was on her play stand. So I took if I hadn't got one, she would have used that piece of wood, and then in her frustration, she probably would have taken it out on the door frame or something like that. So I took my bike out of the garage and cycled up to the parrot shop, and that's where I got my exercise from on Sunday. Sunday's tea, though, wasn't so great. We took the sausages that I got from the butcher's and we made a toad in the hole. Now, I love toad in the hole, but I probably made a little bit too much batter. I followed a recipe which, in hindsight, was probably meant for a bigger baking dish, and so it was quite a deep layer of batter, and it meant it was quite stodgy. It was still delicious, but it was quite high calories wise. I also had a couple of beers on Sunday night, just using up the couple that I had left from the ones I bought on Saturday night. Monday was another one of my own runs, moving on to None to Run week 8 this time. Let's take a look at what I filmed while I was out. Hey everyone, welcome to a very chilly Monday morning. It's about 9 o'clock and I'm out for another run on my own this time, and I'm going to do week 9 run, which is the last of the interval runs. So it's basically 5 minutes of running, 2 minutes rest, repeated 3 times, followed by a final 4 minutes of running. And yeah, I think this is probably going to be the last of the runs that I do, just one per week, but we'll see. Anyway, I'm going to do a brisk warm up because it's cold, and I'll speak to you on the cool down at the end. Oh, and there's week 9 done. And yeah, so that was 5 minutes running, 2 minutes rest, 3 times, and then a final 4 minute run. And I'll be going to be honest with you, I found that the easiest of all the runs I've done in the last couple of weeks. Don't know why. I guess I can run comfortably for longer as long as I get a bit of a rest. But anyway, I did find that particularly comfortable. So on to week 10 and the first of the continuous running, and we'll see how I do. Will I have to start repeating it,
who knows? But I'm going to give it a go, and I'll speak to you then.
On Monday night, we went to the house of some friends and had some lovely drinks, which was for me more beer, but this time they were planned. I knew they were happening. They'd been, arranged for a couple of weeks, and I was able to reduce my calories accordingly. I still went over, as you'll see on the results show, but it was, pretty close to being on track. Thanks to Cyan Ali for hosting. It was fun as usual, and let's do it again soon. Tuesday was meant to be another run with Nikki, and to be fair, we did set off, but we had to abort after a couple of run intervals because she was suffering from some pretty nasty ankle pain. I'm hoping she's going to go and get an ankle support because it is pain that she only gets when she's running or when she's walking particularly fast. So hopefully an ankle support will help her through it. Because we aborted, basically I made sure we got to a point where Nikki was close to home and was going to make it because as the pain was subsiding, and I essentially went off and just did a kilometre run just to sort of see. I ran it at sort of pace that I'd quite like to run a 5k at, about sort of just over 6 minutes per kilometre, just to see how I sort of got on. And yeah, it was pretty good actually. I quite enjoyed it, and maybe I'll do more of that. Even after I'd been able to run 5k, I might just do shorter, faster bursts just to try and, push things a bit. Tuesday evening, I got my arse on Zwift for the first time this week, and without spoiling things too much for the results show, I managed to do another one of my goals. So for those of you who remember what my goals are, you will probably know which one I did, but check out the results show on Saturday morning for an update on that. Wednesday, which is today, I went out to do one of my own runs. This time it was week 10 of None to Run. It was the first of the continuous runs. Let's take a look at how I got on.
Man, that was horrendous. I did not do it. I ran for maybe sort of 12 minutes, then I had to stop. And then I ran for maybe 2 or 3 more minutes, I had to stop. And then I ran for the last 2 minutes, I think that's the only times I stopped, 3 times. Yeah, I'm not sure, I can't remember. Anyways, I'm pretty disappointed, but I'm not also honestly surprised. Basically, I did a pretty hard Zwift session last night, so my legs are still a bit sore from that. And the other thing that happened is, as I was just starting to run, I saw a cat that looked exactly like my cat. But because I was running, I panicked and ran into a garden down an alley. I tried shouting for it, but it didn't come back, so I'm not certain it's ours, but it looked a lot like ours. Maybe a little stocky compared to ours. Ours has lost quite a bit of weight recently. It's probably why he moved out, because we weren't feeding him enough. But yeah, so obviously I lost him, so I decided to carry on with the run, but yeah, my head really wasn't in it. It wasn't in it in the first place, to be honest. So yeah, so I'm going to do that one again and then see how I get on.
Yeah, unfortunately, as you saw, it was a failure. My head wasn't in it, and as you sort of saw on the footage, essentially what happened was about a minute into the run, I basically saw a cat that looked a lot like the one of ours that's still missing. I'm not certain it was, but basically I couldn't get close to it. It was scared of me. I don't know if that was because I was running. It was probably more likely because it wasn't our cat, because I don't think our cat would have been scared of me even if I was running towards it. So yeah, it meant I just couldn't really concentrate for the rest of the run. And yeah, just, didn't really get on very well. So pretty disappointed in that, but it is what it is. I'm not going to beat myself up over it. And that brings us up to date on this video. I'll probably catch up on Thursday and such on my results show, which will be available on Saturday. Sorry, it's another pretty boring one. Again, work's been busy. It's just stuck in this room doing work for the entirety of the day. And yeah, it's meaning I'm not getting out very far to do any exciting filming. But I'm hoping next week is going to be different, because the Plan B restrictions are going to lift in the UK, well, in England tomorrow. It means that I've been asked to go into my new stroke old office next week for 3 days, and then I'm staying in a hotel, so I'll get a nice hotel room tour. And yeah, I've got some other things planned while I'm down there. Obviously, I used to live down there, so I know the area quite well. And yeah, I don't want to make commitments, but I've got some things that I think you guys will like that I'm hoping to get done. Depends on weather and things like that, but watch this space. It might be that the video goes up towards over the weekend next week, because I'm going to be away, so I think it's going to be quite difficult for me to edit and things like that while I'm away. Although I will take my my editing laptop with me, so maybe I will. We'll see. And I will speak to you in the flesh on the results show on Friday/Saturday morning. Friday for me as I film it, Saturday morning for you. See you later.